Greetings, intrepid souls. I'm Banshee, your fearless navigator through the bone-chilling realms of Banshee whale tales. Grab your comfiest blanket, perhaps a steaming cup of tea, and brace yourselves for tales that will have you checking under your bed tonight. I'm actively seeking listener stories to feature on the channel, so if you have a captivating story, please reach out to me. Now, let's embark on this haunting journey together. Story 1. Secrets in the Woods. Unearthing the secrets of Mount Adams. A couple of years ago, my wife, daughter, and two sturdy Rottweilers embarked on a camping adventure in the rugged wilderness north of Mount Adams in Washington. Our chosen campsite, a cozy horseshoe off a United States Forest Service road, offered flat terrain, towering trees, and a welcoming fire pit, away from the hustle of established sites. On the first night, our daughter decided to brave it out in a two-person tent adjacent to ours, just a mere couple of feet away. We assigned the duty of safeguarding her to Max, our male Rottweiler, aptly named for his robust nature. That night, an unsettling symphony of heavy footsteps enveloped our campsite, shattering the tranquility of the forest. Armed to the teeth, I couldn't shake off the paranoia fueled by recent tales of a tragic incident in California, a father shot and killed in his tent next to his two infant daughters. Despite the ominous vibes, we chalked it up to possibly being deer or elk and pushed through the night. Morning of day 2 arrived, and we embarked on a walk down the road, about 300 feet away from our camp. An abandoned road caught our attention, adorned by a rusted gate post hidden beneath vegetation. A flash of blue beckoned us, and Copper, our vigilant Rottweiler, bolted down the road. Heart pounding, I chased after him, fearing a potential encounter with another camping family. However, as I caught up, the sight revealed an eerie emptiness. A cooler, propane burner, tent, blankets, and a folding table lay in ruin, claw marks hinting at a malevolent force that tore through them. The mystery lingered, leaving us perplexed about the abrupt abandonment of a well-equipped campsite. Later that day, while engaged in a game of horseshoes with my daughter, my wife ventured about 70 feet north for a moment of privacy. Suddenly, Copper made a beeline toward her, his intense focus leaving us on edge. Racing to the scene, pistol drawn, I found my wife jogging back towards me, recounting an unsettling experience of feeling watched while trying to pee. The tension heightened as we scoured the surroundings for any signs of an intruder, but the forest held its secrets. Opting to stay one more night, we fortified our camp with a makeshift alarm system using a rope, coins, and keys. As evening approached, a peculiar discovery unfolded: an old, weathered rope tied to a nearby tree, much like our own. The rusty remnants hinted at a makeshift warning system used perhaps a decade ago. Paranoia gripping me, I resorted to firing my .45 into the dirt, signaling our armed presence to any potential threats. The night passed without the haunting footsteps, and the dogs remained calm. We left at the break of dawn, but the thought of the torn tent and smashed gear haunted us. Watching the Amazon Missing 411 documentary today, I couldn't help but notice the proximity of a cluster to our campsite. Dread washed over me as memories of that peculiar campsite flooded back. While we continue to savor the beauty of the Pacific Northwest in our subsequent camping trips, the thought lingers: did something malevolent lurk just 300 feet away from our sanctuary? Grateful for Max's unwavering vigilance that fateful afternoon, we navigate the wilderness with a mix of awe and caution. Part 2. The Return to Mount Adams. We felt guilty and curious about our last camping trip near Mt. Adams. The abandoned campsite bothered us, so we went back to investigate further. Leaving our daughter with her grandparents back in Vancouver, we headed back. With a determined but uneasy feeling, we returned to the woods, retracing our steps to the deserted campsite. The air felt heavy with a sense that something wasn't right as we looked around, each tree and rustle adding to our guilt. As we checked the remnants of the camp, our unease grew. Beneath the torn tent and broken gear, we found something scarier: bones scattered around and traces of blood on the ground. The forest held onto its dark secret, making us feel even more guilty for not looking closer the first time. Feeling responsible to find out the truth, we told the local rangers about our discoveries. Taking them to the Eerie campsite, we shared what we had found. The rangers were disturbed by the scene. They promised to investigate, but, strangely, when we called later for an update, they acted like they had no idea what we were talking about. It was as if they were pretending we never reported anything. This left us with mixed emotions, guilt for not looking harder at first, a serious understanding of the dangers in the seemingly calm woods, and a lingering confusion about the ranger's strange behavior. Our next camping trips became more cautious, with the memory of the Eerie campsite always on our minds. With our Rottweilers by our side, we kept exploring the Pacific Northwest wilderness, now more aware that nature's beauty might hide unsettling secrets, and sometimes, those meant to protect may choose to remain silent and indifferent. Story 2. The Silent Hero of Silent Creek. Back when I was a kid, my family loved camping in the tranquil beauty of Silent Creek, nestled deep within Algonquin Park, Ontario. It was a magical place, full of towering trees and hidden wonders. One day, something strange and spooky happened, and it still gives me goosebumps. Our family dog, a lively bundle of fur named Max, always joined us on our adventures. We decided to explore a trail that led to an incredible lookout. The path meandered through ancient trees, creating a magical atmosphere. My brother and I stopped to take in the view, and Max, true to his energetic nature, zoomed towards us like a furry comet. But, oh no, he lost control and tumbled over a cliff. It felt like a scene from a suspenseful movie. Panicking, we rushed to the edge, fearing the worst. To our surprise, Max had landed on a small ledge about 10 feet down. Relief washed over us, but a new problem arose. Any wrong move, and he'd fall much farther. Out of the blue, a hiker appeared. Now, this was odd because Algonquin isn't known for hikers with climbing gear. Without a word, he expertly descended, like a silent hero. He saved Max, packed up, and disappeared into the trees before we could even ask his name. "Thank you," we called out, but he was already gone. The only sound left was the echo of his footsteps fading away. That day, Silent Creek revealed its mysterious side. The hiker, our silent hero, emerged just in time to save Max. As his footsteps vanished, the enchantment of Algonquin Park lingered, leaving us with stories of the unexplainable and the heroes who appear when you least expect it. Thanks to the silent hero who saved Max that day. Story 3. The Mysterious Night on the Island. Hey, you won't believe what happened when I was a ranger on that island. Picture this, a small place, only reachable by boat, no bridges. Summer's chill, but when the weather turns, it's like a ghost town. So, one night, feeling a bit restless, I decide to take a stroll in the dark. No flashlight, just me and the moon. There's this part of the trail, though, that goes through the oldest trees, gets real dark. Like, can't see your hand in front of you dark. I'm walking, hearing the usual sounds, creaky branches, rustling leaves. Normal stuff, right? Then, out of the blue, something brushes my face. I freak out, throw a wild punch into the dark, and run like crazy. Stop, laugh at myself, find a little cut on my hand from the punch. Through my injured hand, I notice a faint glow off the trail. Think it's some critter, but curiosity gets the better of me. Follow this side trail, hear something in the bushes. Now it's getting kinda creepy. Trail goes up, and I hear a sharp bark. Weird, right? Inch forward, and at the fork, there's this odd crunch behind me. Turn around, see a tall dude, pale as the moon, grinning like crazy. Barks again and bolts into the woods. I'm frozen, hand on my gun, scanning the trees. After a while, I head back to the main trail, practically speed walk back to my cabin, terrified. Next morning, check the coast for any signs of visitors, but there's nothing. The spooky part? Hiked the same route in daylight, found nothing. No evidence of anyone being there. Creeped me out, man. Nights after that, I'd patrol with a flashlight, but never saw that guy again. It's been years, and I still can't explain it. Just one of those crazy island stories, you know? The old forest holds secrets, and that night, I stumbled onto something I can't quite wrap my head around. Story 4. My family loves the great outdoors, and we have an annual tradition we call hunting camp. For over 30 years, we've been heading into the Deepwoods of Michigan, setting up camp in a secluded spot near Native American land, away from sanctioned campgrounds. Our camp centers around a massive old canvas army tent, a relic that accommodates about 15 guys on cots. However, there's a catch. There's one guy among us who snores loud enough to rival a chainsaw. About 4 or 5 years ago, an incident occurred that convinced me to return to the snoring symphony in the larger tent. Our routine at camp follows a predictable pattern: morning hunts, lunch, afternoon hunts, and evenings filled with dinner and a bit too much revelry. Late into the night, as people got drunk or tired, they'd peel off from the group to catch some shut-eye. It was on one such night that an experience unfolded, etching itself into our memories. Around the time when the embers of the fire were fading, a few of us decided it was time to call it a night. As a notoriously light sleeper, I lay there, battling against the eerie sounds that blanket the woods at night. Amidst the usual rustles and snaps, a new sound emerged: footsteps, unmistakable and unsettling. The crunching noise of leaves and twigs being stepped on grew louder, coming from the depths of the woods. I know the usual woodland sounds, but this was different. It sounded like someone walking deliberately towards our camp, the footsteps closing in ominously. Panic set in as the noise stopped right outside my tent. Options raced through my mind: scream for help, tough it out and try to sleep, or confront the unknown. I chose the latter. Leaping out of my sleeping bag, I emerged from the tent, ready to face whatever lurked in the darkness. But as quickly as the noise had come, it ceased. I stood outside, flashlight scanning the woods, finding nothing. Morning brought an even more chilling revelation. My dad asked a friend, Dave, why he was sitting by the fire alone the night before. Dave denied ever being there. He had stayed in the tent the entire night. Confused, my dad recounted how he saw Dave sitting by the fire, staring into the flames without a word. That's when I shared my experience, and we were left with an unexplained mystery. No exaggeration, no fabrication, the events unfolded as described. Neither my dad nor Dave had any reason to make up such a tale, and I believe them wholeheartedly. We considered supernatural possibilities like goatees or wendigos, especially given the proximity to Native American land, but superstition isn't my thing. Despite the eerie encounter, we continue to camp in that very spot every year, opting for the safety of the big tent and the shared company of others. There have been a few other peculiar occurrences, but we chalk those up to encounters with real people, likely Native Americans in the area. The mystery lingers, haunting our memories of that mysterious night in Michigan's wilderness. Story 5. The Ghostly Encounter at Campfire+Black. In the heart of the woods near Portland, Oregon, there's a summer camp called Campfire+Black. The cabins form a circle around a central building used for showers and bathrooms, creating a picturesque scene surrounded by nature. One night, a 12-year-old camper asked to go to the bathroom just as everyone settled into bed. I told him to bring his bunkmate and hurry. The bathroom building was about 100 feet away. The kids, being kids, goofed around a bit, taking off for the bathroom in a playful run. Suddenly, piercing screams shattered the quiet night, echoing horror and desperation. I bolted outside and found the two boys sitting near the bathrooms, holding on to each other. After a few minutes, they managed to calm down enough to tell me what happened. They ran through a man. Right before reaching the bathroom door, a figure appeared in their path, standing in the doorway. With no space to stop, they put their hands up, passed through him, and collided with the door. They described cold air surrounding the mysterious figure, who wore a suit, had black slicked-back hair, and a haunting smile. The next morning, their parents were called, and both kids left Campfire+Black. It was unusual for kids to leave summer camp so abruptly. The atmosphere at the camp became a bit eerie, as whispers of the ghostly encounter spread among the staff. As the summer ended, so did the tales of the mysterious man. However, weeks later, rumors began circulating about strange occurrences at the homes of the two campers. Both families reported odd sounds, cold spots, and glimpses of a man in a suit with slick-back hair. The haunting smile, once etched in the memory of those campers, seemed to linger beyond the campgrounds, leaving everyone wondering about the figure they ran through that fateful night at Campfire+Black. Story 6. Nightmare in the Navajo Desert. Back when I used to visit my cousin's home in Stone Mesa, Arizona, nestled within the vast Navajo reservation, the desolate landscape held secrets that would chill you to the bone. If you tried to locate it on Google Maps, you'd find nothing but a desolate mesa. This region is notorious for reported sightings of skinwalkers, and my encounters with these otherworldly beings left an indelible mark on my memory. To reach my cousin's place from the main road, you had to endure a 20-minute drive through the hauntingly barren terrain. Her trailer sat near a canyon, isolated from the world. The nearest neighbor was a daunting 10-minute drive or a 30-minute walk away. In this remote area, devoid of streetlights, the night was a pitch-black abyss, and even a simple trip to the outhouse, 5 minutes from the house, demanded a flashlight. One fateful night, my cousin, her mother, and I found ourselves in their trailer, a haven they graciously allowed us to use. We were on the reservation to return documents to a chapter house, and for a bit of fun, my cousin and I decided to stay the night. As we watched TV in the eerie quiet, scratching sounds emanated from the windows in the far back room. Panic gripped us as we rushed to close the blinds, convinced that a skinwalker was lurking outside. We spent the night on edge, locking doors and doing our best to ignore the unsettling noise. As the first light of dawn broke, we cautiously ventured to the outhouse, always in pairs and armed with the reassuring hum of the radio from our phones. The following morning brought even more terror. While chatting in the living room, a plate mysteriously crashed to the ground, and we discovered the car doors wide open, despite our vivid recollection of locking them. A chilling revelation awaited us as we inspected the vehicle, slashed tires and claw-like marks on the windows. When we recounted our night of horror to my cousin's mother, she somberly suggested it was likely a skinwalker. Fortunately, she had taken precautions by sprinkling ash on the doorways before nightfall, a protective measure rooted in prayer that kept the malevolent force from entering the house. The encounter was a chilling reminder of the ominous presence that lurked in the Navajo desert. Skinwalkers are not to be trifled with, a truth reinforced by the tales my parents shared about their own encounters. The warning echoed in my mind. Never venture onto the reservation at night alone, and guard your belongings, lest they be used to cast a sinister curse. A mere brush with the corpse powder they wield could lead to a fatal illness, a dire situation only a medicine man could remedy. The haunting memories of that night serve as a cautionary tale, urging others to respect the ancient and supernatural forces that roam the Navajo lands after dark. Story 7. Mysteries in the Mountains, a strange backpacking tale. 7 years back, I went on a hiking trip with pals, a ranger, and a bunch of nature nerds. What we saw during those days still baffles us. Day 1. The start was smooth, despite a tough hike. We camped under a clear Washington sky, cooking beans and rice. Nightfall painted the mountains with a magical touch. Day 2. Things got weird. Before dusk, a wild scream woke us up. Thinking it was just a coyote, we checked around. Found a messed up scene, a pile of fur and flesh, like someone bombed an animal. We scratched our heads, guessed some creature attacked and ran off. Day 3. Tired from a short hike, we relaxed as the sun dipped. A friend was sharing an X-story when a loud pop hit our ears, a tree giving its last sigh. Silence followed, then forest sounds returned. Another distant scream led us on a search for a cave that never existed. No luck, and it was getting dark. Heading back, a friend yells, "Did you see that?" Pointing at 9 o'clock, beyond camp, claiming a person was there. Shaken, he insisted we hide and watch. We kneeled, seeing something move from 9 to 8 to 7. Creepy. Our ranger buddy grabbed his rifle. Another friend held a knife. We stood up, shouting, "Hey bear!" Into the quiet. Nothing. A wail from 4 o'clock, but our eyes stayed on 7. Suddenly, a tall figure appeared, leaning over something, then turned to us. Ranger buddy yelled, "Who is that?" The figure, about 6 feet tall, zoomed away, not like a person or bear but crazy fast, like a mountain-born Usain Bolt. After a tense wait, we grabbed flashlights and checked the spot. Another mess, fox paws mixed in, like a wild feast. Not a hunter's work, but a chaotic dinner on the spot. Sleep was a joke that night. Joking about Sasquatch hid our unease. The figure, neither human nor beast, spooked us. Shrill wails repeated, and our day 2 and day 3 spots were close. Were we stalked by some unseen force? Morning came, but the strange truth lingered. Our nature trip took a wild turn into the unknown, leaving us with more questions than nature facts. Story 8. Spooky Night at Whispering Pines Retreat. Let me take you back about 6 years when I was 25, working alone at Whispering Pines Retreat in the Deepwoods of Humboldt County. The camp, nestled on a hill, witnessed something strange during a creepy night. It was around 2 a.m., and I decided to sneak out for a bit, breaking the rule that said everyone should be in their cabins after 11 p.m. With only a lantern, I wandered through the twisted trees, hoping for a quiet escape. The night was pitch dark, and the moon occasionally peeked through ominous clouds. The trees rustled, creating an eerie tune that heightened the spooky atmosphere. Suddenly, the rustling intensified, and I stopped, my heart racing. I expected a curious animal, but what emerged was beyond belief, a 3-foot-tall shadowy figure. It had a humanoid shape, all black, and nearly featureless. Curiosity got the better of me, and I cautiously approached. The creature, aware of me, darted back into the shadows. Its movements were strange, like a robotic dance, sending shivers down my spine. It shifted 90 degrees and vanished. As someone used to the woods at night, I was frozen. This creature moved inhumanly fast, defying everything I knew about the natural world. The memory stuck with me, leaving unanswered questions. What was this creature? Too human to be an animal, too short to be a person. And how could it move so unnaturally fast? Whispering Pines Retreat, once a peaceful place, now held mysteries that went beyond understanding. I think about going back, but the mystery remains, an eerie story from the heart of Humboldt County. Story 9. A night to remember on the back porch. Let me share a creepy incident that went down not too long ago. My house has this wraparound porch, and on the backside, it snuggles up against the woods. No backyard, just those thick trees standing tall next to the porch. So one night, I'm out there on the back porch chilling with my boyfriend. Out of the blue, we hear these heavy footsteps. It sounded like a big creature with 2 legs was stomping right onto our porch. We were at one end, and the steps were coming from the other. A weird feeling came over me, and I quickly told my boyfriend to turn on the lights. Now, we're both big guys, but this sound genuinely scared us. I tried yelling, thinking it might be some animal, but the steps got faster, as if whatever it was charging right at us. It was dark, and my boyfriend couldn't find the lights, so I turned to run and find the switches. The steps sped up, and I felt a whoosh of wind behind me. Just before I hit the lights, I heard 2 more sounds. First, like something grabbed the railing and jumped over it, and then this huge thud as if something heavy landed on the ground. I turned the lights on and looked over the railing. It's an 8-foot drop, but there was nothing there. Let me tell you, I was scared out of my wits. I turned around, and my boyfriend was just as freaked out. We hightailed it inside, locked all the doors, and then had a beer to talk about what just happened. We decided right then and there that we're not sitting on the porch in the dark anymore. Here's the weirdest part. We have motion lights on both ends of the porch, but they didn't turn on that night. Gives us the creeps every time we think about it. Story 10. Beneath the Sedona Stars, a strange night in nature. Camping in Sedona is a family tradition we cherish. The enchanting red rock landscapes make our biannual trips into nature truly special. Little did I know that one night beneath the Sedona Stars would mark an unusual incident etched into our family's memory. I was 12, snug in the girls' tent with my cousins. Each tent provided a view of the celestial canvas above. The night felt serene until an innocent pebble disrupted our sleep. At first, we dismissed it as wildlife mischief, but soon, an unsettling sight caught my eye. A figure perched atop a massive rock, clad in strange attire, moved in ways no human should. It swayed, crouched, crawled, and paced, emanating an eerie presence. Its eyes gleamed in the moonlight, revealing an otherworldly intelligence. Fear gripped me, and thoughts of screaming to awaken others raced through my mind. Paranoia intensified as the figure descended, heightening the fear of a potential assault on our vulnerable camp. The night hung in suspense until a sudden exclamation pierced the air. A family member confronted the intruder. Pandemonium ensued as the camp awoke to the inexplicable scene. Axes in hand, we confronted the unearthly being, naked with a peculiar mark on its side, mistaken for spandex. The creature eluded capture, vanishing into the night. Chaos echoed in a neighboring campsite, mirroring the terror that unfolded. Rangers arrived in the early hours, met with conflicting testimonies. Some argued it was a naked person, while others insisted it was a creature beyond human comprehension. The Rangers offered a dubious explanation, suggesting a sick coyote or mountain lion with mange. Skepticism lingered, as the creature's size and movements defied the characteristics of known wildlife. Uncertainty clouded the desert air as our family retreated, leaving behind the mystery of that fateful night in Sedona, haunted by the unsettling presence that once lurked in the shadows. As we part ways, kindred souls, let the echoes of these haunting tales linger in the corridors of your thoughts. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, share it with your fellow enthusiasts, and subscribe to keep the spectral whispers alive. Until the shadows beckon once more, keep your lanterns burning bright, and may the fascination with the shadows never cease to captivate. This is Banshee, signing off. Pleasant nightmares.